Greetings, Barcelona family. Like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on everything about Barcelona. In this video, we will discuss a major development for Barcelona, but before that, we need to address other topics that are also very important for our beloved club. Let's start with the first one. Xavi Simons has once again placed Barcelona at the center of the European football map, but this time, the main focus is directly on the Catalan club. The young Dutch talent, who has been followed for a long time by the club's sports management, has become one of the main targets for the next summer transfer window, and everything indicates that his return could be closer than many imagine. In a combination of talent, market opportunity, and sentiment, his name resonates strongly in the club's corridors, and the desire to see him back in the blue and red jersey is no longer just a dream of the supporters but a reality that is being worked on with absolute seriousness and determination, from the management to the technical staff. Everyone agrees that Xavi Simons embodies what Barcelona wants to represent in the near future. It's not just about his ability with the ball or his versatility on the field, but a sum of elements that make his recruitment a logical, coherent, and exciting bet. His departure from RB Leipzig seems imminent after confirmation that the German team will not compete in European competitions next season, and the player, with clear ambitions to compete at the highest level, has already communicated to his entourage that he is ready to take a new step in his career. The Blaugrana club wants this step to lead him back to where it all began, and the history of Xavi with the Catalan club has an emotional touch that cannot be ignored. Trained at the youth academy, his name has always been linked to the future of the team. His departure at the time was due to the need to seek playing time and growth in a competitive environment, but his blue and red heart never stopped beating. Today, with more experience, maturity, and a projection that has conquered all of Europe, the club is determined to recover one of its prodigal sons. Hansi Flick, the new leader of the project, has given his approval without hesitation. The German coach, with a deep knowledge of European football and particularly German, where Simons has taken his last steps, sees in him the ideal player for his system. Versatile, dynamic, with technical quality and the ability to adapt to different schemes. Xavi can be a key piece in the gear that Flick is designing to bring Barcelona back to the top. His vision of the game, combined with his ability to filter passes, attack spaces, and press high, fits perfectly into the idea of football that the coach wants to implement. The interest of other big clubs like Bayern Munich is real, but from the club, there is confidence. The emotional bond of Simons with the blue and red badge and the opportunity to be a protagonist in a sports project in full reconstruction are elements that can tip the balance. Moreover, Barcelona has shown in recent years that it knows how to move intelligently in the market, finding creative formulas to conclude complex operations. The priority is clear. Xavi Simons is a sporting and emotional investment worth making. Regarding the figures, RB Leipzig has set a starting price that is around 80 million euros. It is a high sum, without a doubt, but from the sports management, they are studying formulas to make the operation viable. The possibility of a loan with an option to buy, staggered payment, or even the inclusion of players in the negotiation are options on the table. The objective is clear: to bring Xavi without compromising the financial sustainability of the club, but without losing time or ground against the competition. On his side, the player's entourage sees a return home favorably. Simons wants a project where he can continue to grow, where he feels valued, and where offensive football is the protagonist. All of this, he finds in the Catalan club, where, moreover, he would have the support of a passion that has never stopped following his evolution and would welcome him with open arms. Returning to Camp Nou, reuniting with the city, old teammates, and a philosophy he knows perfectly could be the step he needs to become one of the great references in European football. From the club, they have already started to pull the strings. Contacts with his representatives have begun, and the sports project has been presented. The response has been positive, and although there is still much to negotiate, the feelings are more than good. The determination is total, and the conviction that Xavi can be a key player in the new Barcelona is more present than ever. Moreover, Simons' return would have an impact beyond the playing field. He is a footballer with great media projection, highly followed on social networks, and with a natural charisma that connects with the new generations of supporters. His recruitment would not only be a sporting success but also a boost for the club's image worldwide. In a context where attracting young and media-savvy talent is key to continuing to grow, and we cannot forget the symbolic effect of his return. At a time when the club seeks to regain its essence, bringing back a player trained at home, who has triumphed abroad, and who now returns by conviction, would be a clear message of identity. Xavi represents a new stage, a perfect mix between past, present, and future, and that is precisely what the club needs: committed footballers, with talent and a real connection with the badge. The operation, as complex as it may be, is well underway. There is a willingness from the player, support from the technical staff, and a passion that is already getting excited about the idea. There are weeks ahead of us, negotiations to conclude, and details to fine-tune, but the path is set. From the club, they are already breathing an air of excitement at the possibility of seeing Simons dressed in blue and red again. And now, passion, we want to know your opinion. What do you think about the possible return of Xavi Simons? Do you think he is the profile the team needs to make a leap in quality? Does his return excite you as much as it does us? Without a doubt, his recruitment would mark a before and after in sports planning and could be one of the big news of the summer. The club has decided to bet big on him. Now, it only remains for everything to fall into place and for the desire to become reality. The future is on the move, and everything indicates that Xavi Simons can be a fundamental part of the new chapter that Barcelona wants to write with youth, ambition, and undoubted quality. His name is destined to be a protagonist, and perhaps we will see him shine again soon where he has always belonged, at the heart of Camp Nou, leading the team towards a new era of glory and football beauty. The second piece of news concerns a very important decision in our beloved club. Pau Victor is much more than a name that resonates in the offices. He is the reflection of the good work done at LAMINE of Barcelona. A player who has managed to develop step by step, without haste but without pause, demonstrating at each level that his growth is not the result of chance, but of effort, discipline, and love for the blue and red colors. His presence in the first team has not been a coincidence or a fleeting reward, but a logical consequence of his evolution. Although this season he has not had the continuity that many hoped for, he has left a more than positive impression in every minute he has played and has adapted with maturity to the demanding environment that comes with being part of one of the greatest clubs in the world. From day one, Pau has shown an exemplary attitude, earning the respect of his teammates, the recognition of the technical staff, and the affection of the supporters, who, even without seeing him play complete matches regularly, have been able to identify in him one of those players who embody the essence of the club. His humility combined with great tactical intelligence and an enormous capacity for sacrifice make him an increasingly necessary profile within the team. We are not talking about a media player, but about a footballer who understands the game, knows when to move, how to associate, and has demonstrated flair, vision, and commitment. Hansi Flick has been one of his main defenders. The German coach, recently arrived on the Barcelona bench, quickly understood Pau's potential and conveyed to the sports management the importance of keeping him in the dynamics of the first team. During the last winter transfer window, when some proposed finding him alone to gain minutes, Flick was categorical: Pau stays, not only for his technical qualities but also for his mentality and his ability to understand the game he wants to deploy in the team. In a high-demand environment, finding players with this profile is not easy, and if, in addition, these players have been trained at home, they become treasures that the club must cherish with care. Pau's decision to stay in winter, despite the offers on the table, was a declaration of love to the club. Others in his place would have opted to leave in search of minutes, but he trusted the project, his coach, and himself. He knew that the competition was tough, that the path would not be simple, but he decided to stay in the team and continue growing from within. And his bet has been rewarded. He has accumulated minutes in different matches, actively participated in the first team's training sessions, and consolidated his presence as a real option for the technical staff. However, now that the season is entering its final phase, some concerning information has started to circulate. The club would be open to listening to offers for Pau Victor, and even the possibility of a sale if the economic proposal is attractive. This news has generated discomfort among a good part of the supporters, who are worriedly seeing how one of their own, one of those who truly feels the jersey, could end up leaving just at the moment when he is ready to make the definitive leap. It is not just a sporting issue, but one of identity. Pau represents those values that make us so proud: humility, silent work, respect for teammates, loyalty to the club, and an unshakable passion for the colors. Transferring him now would be a contradiction to everything we have always defended as an essential part of Barcelona's DNA. We know there is interest from several clubs. In Spain, Betis, Celta, and Mallorca have made discreet but firm moves, teams that recognize his talent and would be delighted to have a striker like him. But the strongest interest comes from Germany, specifically from Bayern Leverkusen, which, after the departure of Xavi Alonso, is looking to rebuild its sports project. There is even talk of the possible arrival of Cesc Fabregas on the bench, which could further facilitate Pau's adaptation to the German football environment. But do we really want one of our most promising hopes from the youth academy to end up shining in another club while we continue to look for a place for footballers who do not feel the badge? Because we know this story. It would not be the first time that Barcelona has let a young player with a bright future slip away, only to see him triumph far away, in other teams, being key and becoming the type of player the club needs. And the worst part is that it is not just a matter of money, but of vision, of being able to see beyond the short term, of understanding that building a competitive team does not only depend on million-dollar signings, but on the ability to bet on the talent that develops at home. Pau Victor does not need empty promises or motivational speeches. He needs minutes, confidence, and a project that truly includes him. And in this sense, Hansi Flick seems to have it clear. The coach wants to count on him for the next season, sees in Pau a profile compatible with his style of play, and is convinced that he can contribute a lot to the team if given the right environment to develop. Barcelona, therefore, has a decision that is not minor. It can opt for the easy path, accept a good sum of money, and close the Pau Victor chapter before its time, or it can look to the future with ambition, with courage, and understand that it has in its hands a striker with potential, attitude, and a special connection with the supporters, someone who did not come from outside but grew up here, learned here, and wants to triumph here. And that is why the opinion of the Cules takes on more strength than ever. Are we ready to lose Pau? Do we want to see another club benefit from a player who already has Barcelona's DNA in his blood, or do we prefer to trust in our own, protect them, and give them the opportunity to show that they can be the protagonists of the future? The history of the club has taught us that great successes are not only built on resounding signings but on betting on the youth academy, training, and identity. And Pau Victor represents all of that. That is why letting him go now would be more than just a sporting mistake. It would be a loss of direction, a disconnection from that philosophy that has brought us so much joy. From here, we pose the question to all the passion. What do you think? Don't you believe that Pau deserves a real opportunity? Isn't it time to say stop to the hasty decisions that have made us lose so much talent in the past? Barcelona has in its hands a player who not only has the conditions to triumph but wants to do it here. We cannot ask for more. The ball is in the club's court, but also in ours, because defending Pau Victor is not just defending a footballer. It is defending a way of understanding football, it is defending Barcelona. The third piece of news concerns a major development within the club. Piero Hincapie has already said yes. The young 22-year-old Ecuadorian central defender has reached a personal agreement with Barcelona to become the club's new player starting from the next transfer window. The news, widely reported by sports media in Ecuador and also in some specialized journalistic circles in Europe, marks a turning point in the defender's career and in the panorama of Barcelona's transfers. This is a move that, although not yet officially announced by the Catalan institution, has been validated by many sources close to the player's entourage, confirming that the agreement is sealed and only the final details with Bayer Leverkusen, the current team of the Ecuadorian international, remain to be defined. From Ecuador to Barcelona, the news has generated a wave of enthusiasm that reflects both national pride and the excitement of the Barcelona supporters, who are beginning to view the sports strategy outlined under the new technical management favorably. Since his emergence in European football, Hincapie has left a mark of solidity, tactical maturity, and leadership ability that has attracted the attention of several giants on the continent. His time at Talleres de Córdoba in Argentina and later his consolidation at Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga have served as a platform to showcase his enormous potential. In Germany, he has become a fundamental piece, showing a regularity and defensive projection uncommon for players of his age. His ability to anticipate, his speed in tackles, his innate aggression, and his good ball distribution have transformed him into one of the most sought-after left-footed defenders of the moment. Barcelona did not want to miss the opportunity and moved quickly, aware that he is a player who fits perfectly into the club's playing philosophy. The sports management of Barcelona, in direct coordination with coach Hansi Flick, has been key in advancing this negotiation. Flick, a connoisseur of German football and a direct witness to Hincapie's qualities in the Bundesliga, gave his immediate approval. For the German coach, he is a player with room for growth, a competitive character, and an understanding of the game that allows him to adapt to different schemes. Additionally, his versatility to play as a left central defender or fullback provides tactical variance to the coach, something particularly valued in a team seeking defensive solidity without giving up dynamism. The player himself has repeatedly expressed his admiration for Barcelona's style of play and his desire to be part of a club with so much history. Although in public he has always maintained a cautious discourse, sources close to his entourage have confirmed that the defender is very enthusiastic about this new stage. He has rejected more lucrative proposals from the Premier League and even Serie A, prioritizing the Catalan club's sports project and the possibility of growing under the tutelage of a coach like Flick. This decision reflects not only his sporting ambition but also his maturity and long-term vision. In Ecuador, the news has caused a real media earthquake. The country's main media outlets, such as El Universo, El Comercio, Extra, and Estudio Fútbol, have dedicated front pages and special sections to Hincapie's transfer to Barcelona. The narrative in the Ecuadorian press revolves around national pride, highlighting how a young man from modest conditions has managed to climb the ladder to the pinnacle of European football. The transfer has been interpreted as a triumph not only individually but also collectively, representing the growth of Ecuadorian football in the international context. It is seen as a before and after for the new generation of talents in Ecuador, who see in Piero a reference, a mirror in which to reflect themselves. Social media in the South American country have been filled with messages of support, congratulations, and pride for Ecuador. Seeing one of their own at Barcelona has a value that transcends sports. In Barcelona, the move has been received with enthusiasm. Many Barcelona supporters, tired of high-profile signings without substance, see in Hincapie's arrival a sensible, coherent bet aligned with the values that have historically defined the club. This is not a media star, but a true football worker, a genuine defender, a young player with real projection and a hunger for glory. Additionally, the fact that the player has chosen Barcelona over other more lucrative offers reinforces the perception that he is coming for sporting reasons, with a focused mind and the desire to leave a mark. From an economic point of view, the transfer also has its logic. It is estimated that the operation will be around €30 million, a manageable sum within the club's plans, especially considering the player's margin for re-evaluation. Moreover, Hincapie's arrival allows for the reorganization of the defensive line without the need for major expenses. It brings solidity, youth, and versatility, three qualities that were lacking in the current squad. With a contract extending until 2029, Barcelona secures an important piece in the medium and long term, with the possibility of turning Hincapie into one of the pillars of the project. It is inevitable, in this context, to ask some questions for the immediate future. Will he consolidate as a starter upon his arrival? Will he have the patience and mental strength necessary to adapt to a club with as much pressure as Barcelona? Will he manage to win the hearts of the Barcelona supporters through commitment and performance? These are questions that only time can answer, but which, for now, face a favorable scenario. Hincapie has all the conditions to succeed: the physicality, tactical intelligence, mentality, and, above all, the desire. And that, in a team like Barcelona, has always made the difference. In the club's recent history, many players have arrived with big names but without the necessary commitment. Hincapie represents the opposite: hard work, humility, progressive growth, and a winning mentality. There are no empty promises, there are facts. He has shown in Germany that he can perform at the highest level, that he has been an undisputed starter, that he has competed in Europe, and that he has faced the best attackers on the continent with solvency. His arrival is not a risky bet, but a well-founded decision. It is a clear signal that they want to return to the basics, believe in players with hunger and soul, and that is what the supporters need to see now. Of course, the opinion of the members and supporters is always important. That is why the inevitable question arises: what do you think, as a Barcelona supporter, about Hincapie's arrival? Do you think this is a transfer that meets the team's needs? Do you believe he is the right profile to bring solidity back to the defense? Does the idea of seeing a young, hard-working, and committed player with a blue and red jersey excite you? Leave us your opinion in the comments.